Okay, welcome back. We're going to do one last thing, and then you will have your first Scratch program playground pretty much done. So, one last thing we want to do is mess with this backdrop, because it's pretty dull that you have old dude um, sitting on this white backdrop. So we've spent this entire time in the brain of this sprite. So we were in the sprite's brain, we changed his costumes, we gave him some commands on what to do, and we associated some sounds with him. Now, what I want you to do is take your mouse down here and click over here on the backdrop. Now, the backdrop is his own little thing. Now, you can boss around the backdrop. You can, so you're in the backdrop's brain, which is kind of weird. You can give him instructions. These are kind of the backdrop's costumes, and he can have some sounds associated with him too. What sounds does he have with him right now? Oh, that's lame. Okay, but what I want to do is go to, so do this with me. Make sure you've clicked on the stage, on the backdrop down here on the stage, and here click on the tab that says backdrops, and let's get crazy. You ready? Let's do some paint. So I'm going to say I want a filled rectangle that's green. Nah, I want it to be blue. So do this with me. Pause me if you need to. Well, that's not what I thought I was going to do. Let's try this again. Here, I'll just fill it with blue. Awesome. And then I also want some grass. So I'm going to still, with this fill color, I'm going to pick something that looks like grass green, and I'm going to fill that white spot with color. Now you have this awesome backdrop. It's amazing. Now, so if you were to run the program, now all this happens on a backdrop that's I really love the saxophone. So you've got all this happening on some nice, beautiful backdrop. Now, if you get bored with that backdrop, you have more options. You don't have to paint your own. You could get one, exactly like we did with the costumes. You could choose a backdrop from the library, which I just did. Well, go ahead and do that. So just pick something from the library. I don't even care. I think this is what the dinosaur's bedroom would look like. So the only weird thing is now you've got two backdrops. But if so, let's do this. Click on your new backdrop. If I run this program right now, the whole thing is going to take place inside of his bedroom. And you're just sitting in the dinosaur's bedroom. Now, what you want to do probably is be able to switch between these two backdrops. And you could even add a different backdrop if you go to town. Pause me and play. Get a backdrop you want. I don't know. Now, but basically, to make these things change, we'll start them outside. To make these things change, you're going to have to go back and do some programming blocks. Now, I'm still in the brain of the background, and you can put some stuff here. So I could say, let's do control, no, let's do events, and say, whoops, I could say when you press the play button, then I could say, let's go to looks, do this with me. Go to looks, and you could say, just like you changed costumes, you can go to your next backdrop. You can switch backdrop to a certain thing. You could just do whatever. So we could do next backdrop. Now this is going to be weird because it's only going to happen one time. So what I want you to understand is the dinosaur has a brain that's telling him to do this, and the backdrop has a brain that's telling him to do that. So when I press go, they're both going to go do their own thing. Now, that only changed the backdrop one time. So you could, again, if you wanted to do something more exciting in your control block, you could kind of mimic your business that the dinosaur was doing, and you could say, I would love to have a loop. So that does this forever and ever and ever. Change the next backdrop, waits a second. So now when I run this, awesome. So do that for me. Go ahead and save it while you're thinking about it. Pause me if you need to catch up. Try that. Now, once you get that working, that's just one way you could deal with stuff. You don't have to have him have his own brain. I'm going to delete all that code. Sorry, we worked really hard on it. But go up here and hit the scissors. Take those scissors down here and click on that. Now it's all gone. Because I want to show you that you could also boss the background around in the sprite. So if you want to click on the sprite, you could say in the looks, you could say, oh, no you can't. I lied to you. Sorry. Oh, no, you can't do it from the sprite. Okay, I lied. So, well, that's weird. But anyway, but back here with your stage in his looks, why is that being so weird? I think I done broke it. Okay, but you could deal with different events and looks and backdrops here, and so you could just go to your next backdrop. You could change the color of the backdrop. You could just get as fancy as you want to go with it, and you could also do some timing. You could play music from your backdrop. You could just do all sorts of stuff. And also in your events, things that you could do is you could say, for example, when they press space, you could do some kind of keyboard control, go to the next backdrop. So you could just play around with this. Now this way when it runs, the cat's doing his own thing, and then when I hit space, which I just did, so you could go to town and control it from there, and it would be awesome. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to save it. I want you to play around with that, get some backdrops going, try out some different blocks, and I'm going to come back in the next video and show you how to submit your work to me so I know that you've done this. I'll see you in the next video.